Hi everyone, welcome to the Australian Formula One podcast. This is podcast number 61, and as ever you're joined by your friends Max and Pep. Mate, welcome to podcast number 61.
Thank you very much, Max.
Well mate, we've found ourselves in a bit of a hiatus at the moment, 3 weeks before the next race, mate.
Yeah, it's killer.
It's a shocker.
Yeah.
But we've had the 3 flyaway races now, and we now move on to Europe. And the next track we find ourselves at, mate, is Barcelona, where we've been doing a bit of testing in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, we have. We've been taking a good look at Barcelona, doing some laps on the G25
Oh yeah.
Logitech.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Max, loving that
fantastic.
steering wheel. But yeah, the Barcelona race is obviously, the start of the European season, and mate, I'll tell you what, since they've been testing there a lot, I would have thought you'd be able to get some sort of idea of pace. But there's been some 14 years and others up there while they've been testing 4 days in
What
Barcelona.
are you saying, Pep? You mean they're not up there on their merits?
Mate, 4 days in Barcelona they've been testing, and
No, Force India have done well.
they have.
They have.
Massa's done well, Webber's done well in the wet on the last day.
Yep.
But what can we draw from it, Max? I mean, what's been happening in Barcelona?
Pretty much nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that we're now back in Europe, and all the modifications and the bolt-ons can be added to the cars now, mate. With these flyaway races, of course, development's been minimised, if not eradicated. We're now back into to Europe, and all the car manufacturers, all their people are going, right, we've got this to add onto the car, and they've been doing a little bit of that in Barcelona. But it's going to be interesting to see how everyone's cars look when we line up on the grid.
Max, I've been loving all the banter during the week, with Renault with their shark fin and the return of the mass damper, the return of the mass damper. They've been talking about Renault doing well because, of course, Alonso beat Michael. I think it was day 3. But I was loving just seeing the slicks on the cars.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
They were talking about the new nose cone with the Ferrari.
Hands up if you want slicks back, right now, like now.
Please. Yeah, and I don't think they're actually confirmed for 09, but they're certainly testing them, but I don't think it's actually 100% confirmed.
We're so close to getting it confirmed, it's ridiculous, mate.
Yeah, well, if you guys have read something where you know it's confirmed, but I at the moment I don't think it's confirmed, but they're definitely testing it, of course, and it looks great, and some
How
of the
good to see slicks on cars.
Yeah.
I mean, how great.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a bit disappointed for my mate Jacques Villeneuve, sorry to interrupt, the other day, who said, I'd love to race a Formula 1 car with slicks again, but unfortunately I was a little bit too late.
Well, I'm sure when
Destroyed.
Michael got the call saying, would you like to test these slicks, he would have said, oh, absolutely.
He would have said,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
das is good.
There was more than one driver who said, oh my god, what about the performance of these slicks? As we've got a car giving it some at the moment.
Giving it some woolly.
Listen to this.
Alright, Formula 1 in Sydney. Woohoo!
So yeah, they've been testing slicks in Barcelona, and that's been great to see, and hopefully they'll be back in 09. But the big story otherwise, Max, this week has been about my mate Ant and Super Aguri, and will they continue in Formula 1?
Man, it's a tough one. I mean, Honda, sorry, I should say Magma. I couldn't do that in a Mike Myers voice, but Magma have now turned around and said that no, they're not really interested in buying Super Aguri, and Honda have said we don't really want to bail you out either.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit worried about young Ant and Takuma, mate.
Definite financial troubles. We'll see. Magma is obviously not coming to the party, Max, but we'll see what happens. And I'd be very disappointed. There's been talk of Bernie bailing them out, and other people, maybe coming to the party.
Which surprises me
money,
because
Max. I can't afford it.
Well, Bernie doesn't either. He's a very poor
And
man.
he's not going to do it anyway.
No. I mean, do we need a Super Aguri? Do we need a second Honda team? Is it good for the sport? I mean, these are questions that I'm sure a lot of people have asked or should be asking. They're an independent. is the day of independence in Formula 1 over? I don't know, but I'd like to see Super Aguri on the grid still, and I hope Bernie Eccleston bails him out. But then a lot of people might say, well, what about Jordan and so on and so forth? Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some independence in Formula 1, as opposed to all big manufacturers. I think it adds a little bit of glamour to the sport, and it's great that we've got Williams still there fighting and punching above their weight. But I'd like to see Super Aguri stay around, mate. Just quite.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's even talk they won't race in Spain, so.
Well, they didn't test Ibaka, mate.
Yeah, they didn't, and they've hardly tested at all. And behind the scenes, I think there's been a lot of banter about the fact that they haven't really done much at all. They've just been scraping by, actually, to go to races, not even to develop, just to be in Formula 1. So
yeah, you're right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a sorry state of affairs, but we'll see what transpires in the next week or so.
Yes, mate. Well, the other story this week that's received a lot of press has been the future of Sebastian Vettel, and lots of talk about him moving up to the top seat at Red Bull, Max.
Yeah, going from the junior to the senior team, mate.
Not overly surprising, I've got to say. He's been doing pretty well.
Oh, he has. He has been doing well. Not just talking about this year. He showed that he had a bit of fire in his belly last year. Yeah. And look, I think he's in the right team. I think he can be moulded into a really good driver. Interesting that there are rumours going around, and some pretty strong rumours that he'll find himself into a Red Bull seat next year. But who goes, Pep? Who goes from Red Bull if Vettel comes in next year?
It was funny because all the articles I was reading were saying, there was some pretty senior people in Red Bull saying that he was going to move up in 2009.
Yeah, it was almost a done deal by what
they
were saying.
Exactly. But there was no banter about, and I thought, well, there was no banter about who's going to replace him, but then I thought it's going to come, and of course Coulthard, they're saying he's got a shorter term contract than Webber, and maybe it'll be Coulthard, but who knows, mate? I don't know. But it's definitely interesting that at this time of year they're talking about Vettel next year, so they're obviously warming things up. They're softening the blow for one of them.
Look, I think it'll be Coulthard, irrespective of the fact that Webber's an Australian. I mean, Mark's so far this year, and I realise we're only into 3 races, coming up to our 4th. But I think Coulthard is the oldest racer on the grid in Formula 1.
Maybe it's time.
I think that he's next year he'll be 38. I think that's, to me, you've had a good innings, mate. Sayonara.
Yeah.
But in saying that, we don't know. It could be very well be Webber.
They're very well matched. I mean, they're competing very close together.
Mate, but as I'm sitting here in front of you now, with that question being bandied about, I would have to say that it would be Coulthard that would go as opposed to Mark Webber.
And that's what the buzz on the internet makes.
The buzz.
When you're looking around the internet, most people are saying Coulthard, but you never know.
No, we don't.
Well, mate, we've got a little bit of time now to wait. 3-week gap. It's been a little bit harsh.
1 more week to go, mate.
Yeah, until Barcelona. Yep. And we're going to give our tips. Probably midweek we'll do another video and give our tips. So we'll see what happens there.
We thought about giving you our tips now, but it's a week out from the race. And when we've done that once before, we were completely wrong, and you annihilated us. So we're not going to fall into that trap again. But yeah, during the week we'll give our tips.
Well, guys, we really appreciate your comments. There's been some awesome comments, so keep them coming. And also, please visit us at enterf1.com, because we've been over there on the forum giving.
We're waiting for your call. But yeah, join us on the forum at enterf1.com. Pep and I, as you said, visit it pretty regularly, and we'd love to have a chat with you.
Alright, guys, as ever, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Okay, bye.